Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering, your home for real nuts and bolts guitar learning. Today we're talking about riffs and patterns, common riffs and patterns on guitar for guitarists. I'm a professional guitarist here in Nashville, Tennessee, and there are certain go-to patterns that everyone seems to guitarists throughout the ages have gone through for licks. And so we're going to cover 4 or 5 of those and the patterns that are involved with them so that you can incorporate those into your playing. Hey, there's a free PDF that goes along with this lesson. It's in the link description below. You can click that. It's all free, and it will show you the examples that we're going to be going through as we get through it. So I'm going to be looking at primarily about 4 different riffs that you hear all the time in a variety of different styles. And these are, you can put them in different keys, but we're just going to start basic for them. So take a look at the first one. Take a look at the first one. All right, so now this is a classic lick. You hear it all the time. There it is. It's just about, whatever that is, 6, 7 notes long. There I did it in the key of C. So you're going from the root, the second, flatted third, to the third, 5th, 6th, up to the octave there. So it's really basically kind of a major pentatonic scale. All of this is built around that one central idea. So let's talk about it. There's the first one. You could do it open. You'll hear this, and gosh, early rock and roll uses this lick all the time. Bluegrass uses this lick all the time. And it's a good one for all guitar players to have underneath their fingers. So we're going to start off with this C, open D, E flat, first finger, E natural with the second finger, open G, A, and C. Now I have in the PDF, I've got the music notation written out there, as well as the tab, so you can figure it out on your own. Now, this one happens to be in the open position. That means it's using open strings. But a lot of these, you can apply any lick into other keys by just moving them around. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But here it is in the key of C. You can even hammer on that E flat to F or E flat to E. You know, if I did it up an octave. But here it is open. Now if I play that same lick, but in another key, perhaps another open key, this would be a G. And let's say I want to play the same lick on this, it's almost the identical fingering. Third finger, open, first finger, second finger, D, E, G. So here's the one in C. Here's the one in G. Now, armed with that information, you can put this into other open keys that work well. Like, let's say the key of A. It would be A. There would be the second, flatted third, the third, 5th, 6th, root. Great little lick. What if I did it in D? It would be. So when you're learning, don't just learn one lick. Learn it in every possible way that you can. Put it in other keys. Start with different fingers. Start higher up on the neck. Try and add something to it. See if you can start somewhere, use the lick and go somewhere else, and then come back to it. Now you can combine this to create a longer pattern. So look at the bottom of that first page. So I'm going to play this in F. Now this one does not have any open strings, and it's based off of this root, this first finger on the 6th string root. So I play this F here, then I scoot up to the 3rd position and finish the rest of that pattern out. Now I added another little note in there, so we're starting to talk about variations. So I start on the root, and then I shift up 2 frets and finish out the rest of the lick. Which happens to land me right on this F with my first finger again. I shift up 2 frets and play that pattern. Now here I end up with my second finger, so I have to scoot up here, put my first finger up here at the 8th fret on the 2nd string. So I end up with this long lick. Whoa, a very cool lick. Then you kind of wind your way back down. So all I did was start with that little seed, raise it up an octave, and then even raise it up a 3rd octave. All right, so that's your first lick. A great one to have underneath your belt if you're playing some sort of bluegrass song. You know, man, just listen. Every bluegrass solo has this in there somewhere. Let's see. Same lick. There you go. And so that's a lick that every guitar player should know. You use it for all kinds of things. Take a look at the second one. Okay? Riff 2. Okay, riff, lick, it's the same words, just all kind of two different words to describe the same idea. It's just a musical seed. A motif, if you were in classical music, you'd be talking about motif. All right, so this is Riff 2. All right, now this one works great. You hear this a lot in blues and in country. Here's the lick. Okay, that's this seed of a lick. I'll play it again. There you go. Okay. Now, notice what what I'm doing. I'm on the 1st and 3rd strings. We're in the key of E, and I slide up. You don't have to slide up, but here's the basic lick. I go to the 4th fret on the 1st and 3rd strings, and I hit those. 3rd string, 1st string, 3rd string. Then I go down a half step, do the same thing. Down a half step, do the same thing. And then you can even do a little hammer on to that flatted 3rd up to the 3rd. I can even slide up to that. Now I'm doing a kind of a hybrid picking over here. You can do it with a straight pick. You hear it all the time in blues. A great little lick. You hear that in country sometimes too. So that's one way to play it. Now a variation of that is to play it on the 2nd and 4th strings. Same notes, I'm just going to play them on the 2nd and 4th strings. Remember what I said about don't just learn one lick, learn how to play it in all kinds of different places. That way you can get it more mileage out of it. You guys think I know a million different things. Actually, I only know a handful of things, but I can apply the same lick in a variety of places, and it works. So here's the second way I can play that lick. I have to go up to the B and the G sharp here on the 2nd and 4th string. So that leads me way up here to the 9th fret. Same thing down. And I'm doing 2nd finger, 3rd finger, 2nd finger. And then I got to slide up to this to catch my 2nd finger to the 1st. So you're dealing with, both of these patterns have an empty string in between. Whether I'm on the 1st and 3rd, whether I'm on the 2nd and 4th. Now the beauty of the 2nd and the 4th one is that, hey, I'm not using any open strings. So if I'm not using any open strings, that means that I can move it. Hey, what if I wanted to do it in the key of F? Sure, no problem. There's my F, so I start 3 steps up from that. Hey, what if I'm going to do it in B flat? Well, hey, that finger pattern is the same. All I have to do is, there's the B flat on the 6th string, or excuse me, the 1st string. I go up, to its third, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 frets up. What if I wanted to do it in C? Then I go start on C, the third of C. What if I wanted to do it way up here? So you'll see sometimes you get kind of out of range. It's just easier to play it in a different place on the neck. That's where it's good to have these two ideas where you can flip them. All right, so that's another great lick. So we have them. Hey, and then we also have... Now I go to the B chord. Sorry. That lick in a variety of places. I could even flip that lick upside down. All I did was take the first string note and put it on the bottom, put it on the sixth string, and I end up with this. Add that open B and open E in there. Now, the idea is not to play it exactly like I'm playing it. The idea is to make it your own. So here I've showed it to you one way, and then I flipped it. I've shown it to you on one string set, the first and third, and then the second and fourth, and then we flipped it. What if I wanted to put the lower lick into, let's say, G? What if I wanted to have that upper note in there too? Well, that upper note's here on that G. I got to change my fingerings around. To be able to accommodate that high G there. All right, so there you go. Take a look at the third one, okay? So we've got the first one. We've got the second one. Here's the third one. That if you're a guitar, you can't call yourself a guitar player and not know these because you're going to use them all the time. This one's kind of a sliding riff, okay? So we're going to start off in this C, okay? And so here's what it sounds like. That's the basic part of the lick. Now, if I just break it down and take the slides out, you end up with, again, based almost entirely off of a pentatonic scale. There's the C with my first finger on the fifth string, the third fret. Then I don't want to. I could play it like this, but I specifically want to go up here because of where I'm going to add the slides in. C, and then I play my third finger on the fifth string, seventh fret, first string, or first finger, fourth string, third finger there. There you go. But Steve, that has that awkward thing in it. Yeah, but if I add the slide in, watch what happens. C, I put my third finger on the D and then slide up to the E. Sliding is a great little trick that we could do on guitar. One of the first things I learned on guitar is that it sounded cool sliding. So it takes a little practice. So I hit the D and I slide. Now you'll notice in the music that I have here, when I add the slides, you'll see a smaller note right in between the C and the E, the first and the third note. There's this smaller note in there. That's a grace note, and what that means is that I pluck that D and then I immediately slide up to the E. So I'm not really even hearing the D. I'm just hearing kind of where it's coming from. And then I'm going to slide up to that A too. So I hit my first finger on the G and then I immediately put my third finger on the G and slide up to the A and hit that. Now, Steve, why do you want to use the third finger on these slides? Because the third finger, you want to use the fingering that you're going to be when you get to the target note. So then I have to move back so that when I get to that target note, I'm in the right fingering placement. So I don't want to go use my first finger, because then I can't finish the rest of the lick because my hand's in the wrong spot. So that's why you always slide with the finger of the target note that you're going to. Great little lick. But I can combine them, okay? So what if I went another octave? Now I combined it, so now you have to... Now, I know you're going to have to think about the fingerings and all of that. That's why I wrote it out, so you can have that there. But it's a similar fingering for both of those. A great little lick. Now, if I wanted to come down, I show it also that's descending there too. Same thing. You want to start with the finger of the target note. A great little lick. Now, since this is based off of this root, okay, this C, I can shift that around. What if I wanted to play it in B flat? Kind of the beginning of almost sounds like the beginning of My Girl. Same lick, identical lick. All right, so take a look at the third illustration down there, the third line of music on page 3. Now I'm going to put the lick into the key of F, but I'm going to switch a string set down. So now I'm on this low F. It's the same fingering, which kind of is leading me to where I want to go. We're going to be talking about patterns on the guitar. This is one of those places where it's the same fingering you could use in multiple places. That's the first part of that bottom line. That's the next part. Kind of changes a little bit there. Let's see. Something like that to get us in and out of that. You don't have to go all the way up. I can keep going even after that. It's the same idea. Experiment on your own. Try and find good ways to do that. Now, let me talk to you about a very important concept. We've done this in the key of F. So if I had let me turn on my little looper here. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. So if I play my lick, this is F major. Okay, a long lick, a long idea out of one little C. That's what I want you to get you to see. What if I played that lick with my 5th string? So do you see, I'm taking that little idea and creating, I'm winding my way around that lick. But here's another thing. You get 2 for the price of 1. Every key has a relative major and a relative minor. So every key has a cousin, okay? So a major key, if I go up 6 steps from its root, if I'm in the key of F, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, I get to its minor cousin. Okay, so F major and D minor are cousins of each other. They share the same key signature. What does this mean? This means that I can do this. So now I'm going to do a little riff in D minor. 1, 2, D minor, go. Then I'll go back back to F. Then back to D minor. I can use the same lick in both cousins, okay? The F major and the D minor. So here's F major. Same lick. So do you see? That same lick worked in two different places. And it sounds a little bit different in both of them. It works in major, it works in the relative minor, the cousins of each other. So a couple of keys you need to remember. If I'm in the key of C, major, I go up 6 steps and I find its relative minor, which is A minor. So A minor and C major are related. D minor, F major are related. E minor and G major are related. C minor and E flat are related. Everything and 6 steps away is the relationship. So that's an important one to do, important one to learn. Hey, if only there was a little tool that you could use to just dial up whatever key you are in and find out there's the key of C, there's the relative minor right there. That's where this little tool comes into play, and it works out really good for stuff like that. Okay. The very important concept. So you get 2 for the price of 1. These licks work in major and they also work in minor. All right, take a look at the 4th one. Just thought I would show you one that's a little bit more bluesy. Okay, this one I'm going to switch to the key of A. It's a little double stop thing. So it's... Did you hear that? That little, what am I doing there? Okay, I'm in the key of A bluesy kind of stuff. It's kind of an A minor sort of a tonality. I bar between the 1st and the 3rd string with my 1st finger, and then with that barred, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to have my 3rd finger on the 3rd string at the 7th fret. So that's where this is going to start. But you've got to have the bar behind it or it's not going to work. And then I'm going to go up from the 3rd finger to the pinky. So I'm just hitting that top note once. Again, I'm doing a little hybrid picking thing. Okay, so you can't just do it with a flat pick because there's a string in between. Hammer-on pull-off. So you got to get that technique first. That's why I threw this one last, because this is the harder of the techniques. And then you pull off to that 1st finger bar. So now I have all of that. And then you come right back to that 3rd finger. And you play both notes again. So that first lick there, Riff 4, is now here it's hammering onto that major 3rd, but you can even just leave it with the minor 3rd and it sounds good too. And vary it however you want to do it. It's a great lick to have in your tool bag as being a guitar player. Okay, if I look at the middle line, the 2nd line on that page, there I just added to some other stuff. So what do I have here? I have, sorry, sorry. Wow, I really screwed that up. Let me try it again. 2, 3, 4. That's more like it. Let me play it again. 2, 3, 4. There you go. Another great lick to have in your tool belt. But wait, there's more. I played it in kind of an A blues and A minor sort of tonality. What if I wanted to play it over a C chord? It's relative major. So if I played, it got a little C progression. 2, 3, 4. So if I play it with its major counterpart, it sounds happy. It sounds sweet and happy. If I play it with its minor counterpart, it sounds bluesy. A great lick to have underneath your belt. All right, one last concept for you. All right, so we've talked about, I've given you 4 different licks. We've played them in a bunch of different places. Now, here's another important concept on guitar. Patterns. Patterns. How the guitar is laid out. If I have a 2-string pattern, I can just continue that pattern all the way up the neck. What do I mean? Let's say my pattern is here. Say it's a little lick in C, and I'm going. Okay, so I'm using the 6th and the 5th strings. Well, if I go down to the 4th and the 3rd string and go over 2 frets and play the same finger pattern, it's the same finger pattern. I just have to go down to the next set of strings, over 2. Now, it'll even work again if I go down to the next set of strings, the 2nd and the 1st, but this time I have to go up not 2 frets, but 3. 1, 2, 3. So I end up with... Now, what this little concept has to do with the tuning of the guitar. So if I have a lick that starts on the 6th string and only uses the 6th and 5th, then I can go 2 frets up, go down to the 4th and 3rd strings, play the same lick, and it's going to sound an octave higher. It's the same finger pattern. I just need to know the pattern. Okay, the pattern is if I have a 2-string lick that starts on the 6th string, goes to the 5th string and back. Doesn't matter what the lick is. If I go down to the 4th and 3rd string, go up 2 frets from where I started, play the same finger pattern. It works. What if I go down to the 2nd and 1st string, and now I have to go 3 frets up? So that's the only thing you need to remember. If it's on the lower, it goes 2 frets. If it's on the higher strings, it goes 3 frets. So I can, with one idea and that knowledge of how the patterns on guitar work, I can create a much longer pattern that goes 3 octaves by just knowing that I can shift the same finger pattern up 2 strings over 2 frets. Okay, look at the next the middle line there. I have another little example there. That's my little lick. Kind of a C7 sort of lick. Same finger pattern. I go down 2 strings, over 2 frets, and it's an octave up. So I don't have to worry about what the notes are and all that sort of stuff. I have to do the same finger pattern. Go down 2 strings, over 3 frets, and I play the same lick. Now that works on certain combinations of strings, the 6th and 5th being a pair, the 4th and 3rd being a pair, and the 2nd and 1st being a pair. Now, if you try and do it with the 5th and 4th and 3rd and 2nd, it's not going to work. It only works with the 6th and 5th, 4th and 3rd, and 2nd and 1st. Okay? Now look at the last little one down here. What do I have? 1st finger, 4th finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger. Down 2 strings, over 2 frets. Same lick. There it is again. Down 2 strings, over 3 frets. It's a pattern. You can find all kinds of patterns like that on guitar. So there we've given you all kinds of licks. Some great ones. If you're a guitar player, these are relatively easy licks that you can have and use in a variety of different settings, and they're going to work out great for you. And then knowing the patterns of how these strings are related to each other, that little pattern trick, you can find all kinds of different combinations of fingers through those. So I hope that helps you out with all of this. Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for guitargathering.com, and we will see you next time.